Let's look at all data. Let's do something very similar with the total. If one of these values has not been input, we don't want to see the total. Every value has to be there before we take the total. So I can either color the background black or the font white, and it will hide the total. First, select just the total cell. Conditional formatting, new rule, and we will count if any of the cells are blank. In this case, I will highlight C3 through C32. That way, if they insert one at the top or a new row at the bottom, it will still be included in this count blank statement. And we'll see if it's greater than 0. If it is, let's format the fill so that it is black. You notice we can't see the total right now because there's a blank. However, if we put anything in this cell, it's no longer blank and the total shows up. Let's move to the next tab. We may have a long list of dates and want to highlight a particular date instead of data, maybe today's date. We could highlight just the dates and use the formula below. Let's use the whole column this time. Looking at the rule, B1 is highlighted, so we say equals B1 equals today. And we'll put in the formula to pull out the current date. And if it is, let's give it a color, maybe an orange in this case. There, now it highlights today's date. That or another date we're interested in will be a lot easier to find when we have a lot of dates. Going to the next worksheet. Any formula we can write that results in a true or false outcome can be used with conditional formatting. Here we've written some more complex formulas to decipher if there's an A in the cell to the left. We will examine these formulas later when we study text formulas, but right now we know it works as it's a true or false, so I'm just copying it and hit the escape button. Now let's highlight all of the cells, go to conditional formatting, new rule, and paste it in there. And if it is, let's give it a green. Now you can see each cell that contains an A. It didn't matter if it was a capital or small, it will still pick it up. Microsoft doesn't care whether it's capital or small a, except for certain formulas. Now let's try weekends. Again, we have a formula as to whether the date is a weekend or not. If it's a Saturday or a Sunday, then it is considered a weekend. This results in a true or false statement. Let's copy the formula and highlight our data. Conditional formatting, new rule, and paste it in there. And we will format it with maybe a blue. There, it highlights which days are weekends. Why does it highlight this cell as well as that? You know from your date class that this is pointing to A5, that they both have the underlying data. This is just a formatting issue as to what it's showing. Going to the next worksheet. Let's pick out a particular month along rows, maybe hundreds or thousands of rows, and we want to look at just June. I am going to make a small change from the hint below. Here I will write month, colon, and in the next cell I'll put a 6, meaning June. Now I will look for dates anywhere in column B. You will note that cell B1 is white, so that is the cell we will write the rule for. So equals month of B1 equals whatever is in cell F2 absolute. Let's color those and maybe put a yellow on them. Now you can see each month that is June. Or maybe we want August. It shows August now. Or February. What if we put January? Oh, look what happened there. Anything that's blank is January. If you can remember from your date class, any blank cell is like 0, and that's January 0, 1900. And so that is that month. If you wanted to get rid of that, you would have to write a more complex formula that would check to see if the cell was blank or not. In the meantime, this will work as we change the different months. Let's now look at data validation.